Morning number 27. One of these days, I'm just going to suck it up and go live. And then that way, there won't be any editing at all I can do. We'll just have to post it, and that'll be the end of it. All right. Remember, first thing in the morning, number one, you need to have a plastic water bottle so when you drink your water, you can fill yourself up with tons of microplastics. No, I'm just kidding. I just I get a ton of hate for using a plastic bottle. I should probably switch over to something, but again, it's about putting complications in front of things that you need to do and then not doing those things. So trying to find, a copper cup or some fresh spring well water, every morning is just one more thing that I have to do that it makes more difficult to do the things that I need to do, which is drink this water. But we're not just drinking the water because when we sweat, we're not just sweating out the water, we're sweating out salt, electrolytes. I recommend electrolyte packets like your LMNT or Liquid IV. I don't have any of that because I can't afford it. So I got some pink Himalayan salt. That's what we're using. I got about a quarter tablespoon. I'm going to dump him right in there. After we hydrate, we're going straight into some kind of physical exercise because our whole intention is to raise blood oxidation levels. That's the oxygen in your blood. You're low because you've been sleeping all night. We're going to do something to breathe deeply. Even just taking some concentrated breaths will help. But the best thing to do is to go right into some exercise. Not really any kind of exercise that's going to build muscle or, make you sweat profusely or anything like that. It's just quick to elevate the heart rate. That elevated heart rate is going to cause you to breathe. When you breathe, you're going to pull in more oxygen, and that oxygen is going to get into your brain. It is going to erase your mental fog. That is the whole point. And then we want to be outside. You got to get some vitamin D production. Sunlight will signal to your body it is time for you to wake up. It is time for me to go ahead and drink this saltwater sludge. Let's get at it. Everybody wants to be healthy until it comes time to drink your saltwater sludge. Nah, for real, I'm just kidding. I encourage everybody to do some serious research and look into the benefits of drinking salt and having electrolytes in your system first thing in the morning. It will revolutionize your morning experience, I promise. I always get a little rush to my head when I drink it fast like that. I think it's because when I'm drinking, I'm not breathing. So I'm actually kind of giving out of breath too. For that last swallow, I can just feel myself pulling in some O2. Okay, so got the water down. You know how we do. We got to prolong it a little bit before we hit these burpees. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm going to turn you around, set the camera up. Let's roll. Far and away the best I've felt doing these burpees in all 27 days. Of course, I was doing push-ups in the beginning, but I'm finally feeling better with these. I don't know what it was. I don't know what's special about today. I think I just slowed down a little bit and didn't get so anxious because I knew what I was doing was going to be put on YouTube. I think that's the key, the secret for me. But moving forward, I want to be able to hit maybe 50 of these. I don't even think I got to 20 today. Doesn't matter. I'll be day 100 of morning routine suck killing burpees. Ooh, gotta pause and catch my breath. Oh, wow. Oh, I feel good. I feel really good. I did an extra burpee or two at the end there just so I can say that I did more today than I've done before. It wasn't but like one or two more, but just something a little better every day. It's the whole idea of progressive overload and not just limiting progressive overload to the gym, but recognizing that we all need to be adding and doing more to our day. Another way you can progressively overload your day is exactly what I'm doing with these videos, where I'm waking up in the morning and I'm maximizing the time that I have during the day. I'm not getting up super early and adding in extra time to my day, what I'm doing, it's kind of like focusing on your form. When you're in the gym, you still want to progressively overload, but maybe you've gone up to a weight where getting 5 is really tough, and instead of adding weight the next week, you're going to stick with the same weight and hopefully improve the quality of the rep. Try to get 6, try to get 7, but even if you were to get 5, only 5 again the next week, if you improve the quality of the rep, if you used more of the muscle you're trying to use and less of the auxiliary muscles, then you improve. That is progressive overload. So that's what I'm doing with my day. I'm improving the form of my day. I'm not necessarily adding extra time to the day with a ridiculous wake up call or time, which, I mean, it might get to the point where I need to do that. But what I'm doing right now is just acknowledging the fact that I leave so much quality time on the table on my day just because I'm not focused in on actually what I need to be focused on. And so this helps me tremendously. Now, personally, I do most of my work that I need to do like later in the afternoon or even at night sometimes. So it's always these morning hours where I can sleep in if I want to. There's nothing that really calls me out of bed. My purpose in life, all of our purposes in life should have that fundamental yearning. We should have an umption to wake up each and every morning in order to accomplish our purpose. But that's a whole lot easier said than done. And just looking back at all the times where I've really tried to become like a morning person or tried to become more productive in the morning, I've often tried to pair that with a ridiculous wake up time. One that's just, it's not reasonable, at least not now. We talked about that stupid 75 hard before. That's so dumb because what I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to go 75 hard. I'm trying to go the rest of my life hard. And what I'm doing is I'm teaching myself that I can actually fulfill the potential of my day more by just recognizing the fact that I can do more with the time I already have. And I think a lot of us are like that. One of the things that sucks, a lot of our day might be spent in traffic or in transit going from here to there, wherever. A lot of times we're just stuck in our cars. But that's actually a great opportunity because you can listen to all kinds of stuff, podcast, or you can watch YouTube videos while you're driving. I'm just kidding. You can listen to YouTube videos while you're driving. But the fact is that time we spend, you can actually use that time to improve yourself. It's not like you're just sitting there and you've got to listen to, I don't know, Miley Cyrus or whoever, you know, on the radio. Most of the time, we ignore the fact that these opportunities that we've got, while you're riding on the bus or riding the train, you can be pumping yourself full of stuff that you need to hear. And this is huge. This is a huge chunk of your day you can maximize if you want to. And again, the morning is another one. Now, listen, if you're one of these people who has to get up, at like 6:30 or even earlier and go to a job, and be there at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, you're probably not going to be able to wake up and do what I'm doing right now. So let's think about it. What do I do? I wake up and I hydrate. You can do that. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Everybody should have at least a 16-ounce water bottle by their bed so that as soon as they wake up, first thing before your feet hit the floor, you're hydrating. That's just a no-brainer. I mean, where we've obviously got wiggle room is getting like sunlight and exercising before you go to work. Because if I had to be at work at 8 or 9, there's no way I could do this. I would stick with my hydration, but there's no way. Maybe I could knock out 40 or 50 push-ups. That seems like it might be reasonable. Probably would be doing them like in the bathroom before I took a shower type of thing. And then obviously nobody's expecting you to be able to sit outside and collect sunlight, for your body for 10 to 15 minutes if you've got to be at work early. Now, what you can do while you're instead of the exercise part is to control deep breathing. You can oxygenate yourself by breathing deeply, and that is a 10 out of 10 recommend. If it's not too cold on your drive to work, or if it's not too uncomfortable, crack your window down just a little bit, get some fresh air, and do some deep breathings. 4 seconds in, hold it, blow it out for 4 seconds. Do this a couple of times, and the oxygen in your blood has no choice but to increase. You'll feel better. And plus, in your car too, if you got your windows down, you'll get some of the intake as you're driving. The wind will be coming in. Uh, you'll be able to breathe a little bit better. I'm serious. I'm got this look on my face because I know it sounds a bit ridiculous and hokey, but it works. I promise you. And the other thing is, during your day, generally speaking, we can all find, if you don't smoke, which hopefully you don't, but you can still take a smoke break, go outside and get some steps in. Just a little bit of sunlight on your skin, on your face. It'll help. It'll help to improve your mood. I'm not just like bro sciencing this. This is like actual facts. These are mood elevators. We're all chronically under oxygenated. We all need more vitamin D production. So going for these like little micro walks, just get your steps in, just get some deep breaths in. It'll highly improve the quality of your day. So many times we're both the source and the solution of our problems. Problem always starts with us, but so many times we're looking other places to solve our problems for us. Now, we might have to look other places to understand the solution, but ultimately it is us that has to put the solution into practice. So it's kind of like a love hate relationship with yourself, but that's who we are as human beings. Once we come into a better understanding of our own human nature, then we better understand not only ourselves, but the world around us. Once we learn how to raise our internal vibration by consuming healthy things, and I'm talking about just food, but just listening to things we need to listen to, reading things we need to read. When we raise our internal state of vibration, the world around us has no choice but to acknowledge the fact we're in a higher vibrational state, and the frequency around us begins to rise. It does start with us, and there's other ways we can go about doing this as well. But the easiest thing to do is recognize we're both the source and the solution. When we focus on healing ourselves, it's not selfish, because this healed person, this the potential that we feel by becoming our fulfilled real self, as opposed to this actual self that we are now, that process we go through, it's about everybody around us. It's not just about us and the things that we acquire personally, the knowledge that we have. Once we understand how to share that and give that person to the world, that's when things really start to change. That's when we can see big improvements and mindset shifts all around us. But taking responsibility and accountability for the problems we've created for ourselves is number one. So it's not about thinking that we have to conquer the solution or find the solution by ourselves, but we do have to enact whatever it is, whatever the solution is. It's up to us to put that into practice. When we stop waiting on an angel in the sky or a stranger showing up with $10,000 or some other miracle, when we recognize that we are the miracle, we're fearfully and wonderfully made, and any problem that we've created, we can figure out a solution within us to handle that problem.